Hi, my name's Matt. I'm a cancer survivor. In this room, that's nothing special. But I'm not just a cancer survivor because I had a tumor and the surgery and the radiation oncology and all that. Also because I got a mother with cancer, I lost a sister with cancer, I've lost 2 close friends to it, a number. It's not just the cancer patients that are survivors. It's the partners, it's the spouses, it's the children, it's the parents. In my experience, it's the partners or the caregivers that carry that heavier emotional burden. Tom's a cancer survivor. As far as I know, he's always had clear screenings. But so many of his friends, so many of his loved ones are battling cancer. It haunts him. True? True. I'm not an expert. I don't have MD at the end of my name. So I can't give you authoritative information. In fact, I don't know anything nobody else in this room has. We've all walked the walk. We've all experienced this. So we're in it together. We're in it to share what's worked for us, what we know but we can't talk about. That's our goal here. Now, Tom started to define intimacy. For the purposes of this talk, let's shift the definition over towards sex. Now, I know in preparation, Tom said, Matt, you can't get graphic. I don't want you to get up there and tell them that they've got to take their and put it in the I said, well, Tom, I think we're probably all up to speed on that. But how about taking the and wrapping it with a And Tom said, no, Matt, I really don't want you to tell them about that. And so I said, well, then we could take the and put it alongside the and do a little with it. And Tom said, you can do that? And I said, we do it all the time. It's great. Anyhow, there's a discomfort. By the way, does anybody here know what I'm talking about? There's a problem with words, especially important words that are about important stuff like intimacy. For instance, love. Love describes how I feel about Judy. It also describes how I feel about my son, which is a very different feeling. And it also could be used to describe the way I feel about ice cream. Who here loves ice cream? Show of hands. Okay, that's the primary definition of love. Ice cream desire. So intimacy is the same sort of thing. We're uncomfortable talking about. We don't really know what we're talking about. We're just going to have to fumble through as best we can. Is it just about sex? Of course it's not. Frankly, I'd like a nice dinner, a couple glasses of wine, a little conversation before I take my and put it in the or whatever you were talking about, Tom. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with that.
So what was I saying?
You were saying that there's more to intimacy than sex. However, it's something that needs to be addressed.
You can't, in romantic love, you can't remove the two. As Tom was describing the patients with prostate cancer, I don't want to live if I can't show my woman how much I love her physically. It's no detail. And that's what we're operating on here. Now, Tom also, Tom drove into the ground the physical causes of a lack of intimacy while battling cancer. And he also hit really hard on the stresses. Now, I can't think of anything being an aphrodisiac the way stress is. And he started adding, lost work, medical problems, huge medical bills, kind of hard to relax and feel frisky. And then the mortality. Having the angel of death sitting on the nightstand is kind of a mood killer. I've tried giving them $10 and saying, hey, can you go see a movie? Yeah, sometimes it works. Depends what's playing. And cancer is overwhelming. And I don't think there's a single cancer survivor that hasn't curled into a fetal position and just shut down for a while. What happens, what's the problem for a relationship, is when one or both partners don't crawl out of that fetal position. And it's not always the actual. Maybe they go off into their room, close the door, and don't come out. Maybe they go smoke a doobie. Maybe it's drinking, but it's a withdrawal. And now one of the survivors is alone. That's no way to be. A phenomenon I've noticed in couples is that a partner will be supported through the treatment. And now that you're in remission and you're no longer going into treatment, I need a little personal space. Thinking California will work well for me. They're out of here. I call it bolting. And then there's the big separator. Sometimes your partner doesn't survive. Not very long. And okay, you weren't diagnosed with cancer, but you're a survivor. And that's a little bit of an impediment for intimacy. So how do we cope with this? Well, Tom gave us the shopping list of symptoms that he's offering cures for. That's a good thing. Hit your doctor. I could offer my own sort of hints from Heloise, household suggestions that work pretty well. A lot of them involve olive oil in a way that isn't connected to Italian cuisine. You know, Franco and Karen might disagree. And, hey, works. A good friend of mine, this is survivors, has shared his secret to achieving happiness. Andrew Weil says, and this is not Dr. Andrew Weil, the self-help books and television. This is actually Andy Weil, who's a carpenter that specializes in renovating bungalows in the Catskills. This is true. He says the secret to happiness is to lower your expectations to meet your reality. I responded to him. I said, well, why don't we raise our reality to meet our expectations? He says, no, that's too much work. Keep it easy. There is a truth there. We've been cut and scarred and impaired and disfigured and all that nasty, exhausted, overwhelmed. We need to find what's comfortable. What we can do to build on the sexy in that. Once upon a time, there was a handsome prince, a beautiful princess. Handsome prince got cancer, they lived happily ever after. No. Sorry, kids, that one isn't going to work. Got another story. There's a couple I'll call Frank and Edith. And Edith got diagnosed with lung cancer. And you know how these stories tend to go with stage 4 lung cancer. They had a year of hell. Frank was devastated. But they were one of those couples that had been married so long, it was kind of creepy, like 34 going on 35 years. It's like, I love you guys. But between the two of you, you sort of make one human being. So, but Frank did all the therapies, came up with alternative treatments, did the thing. Eventually, Edith died. After some months, Frank allowed himself to get out a little bit. He met Pamela. And gradually, they go to dinners, they go to concerts together, they got new friends, they got to be intimate. Well, at this point, Rex recently acquired a hot tub. He started building a collection of lava lamps. Edith would never let a lava lamp in the house. It's Friday night. They probably got the hot tub going. I said to Frank, we had breakfast together earlier this week. I said, I run into people that know you. And they say, Matt, how's Frank doing? And I said, he's doing terrific. I said, Frank, they look at me funny. What I really want to say is, Frank's doing fine. He's met this sweet babe, and he's having more sex than they finished my sentence. He's had more sex since the Carter administration. And I said, yeah, that's kind of the idea. And he says, yeah, this was an opportunity to reinvent myself. I've no regrets about my marriage to Edith, but I've learned from that, and now I'm building my life again and defining myself anew. And I'm doing it with Pamela, and it's working out really well. I got to tell you, Edith got diagnosed 2 years ago. You seem happier than you were 3 years ago. Well, I am. The point of this is whatever path cancer takes you through, whether you can follow it to the girl that brought you, so to speak, and once the hellishness of treatment passes, you can rediscover each other and build an intimate life. Or whether you finish the path alone and the relationship didn't survive it, or your partner didn't survive it. You're not dead yet. It's a chance to start again. It's an opportunity for rebirth. It's an opportunity to rewrite passion. And to pursue happiness. We've got no guarantee, but every so often you can catch up to happiness and hold it close for an evening, and that's a beautiful thing, and we can't promise you a happily ever after, but a good moment is everything. And tonight, I think it stopped raining out there. It's Friday night. I know Frankie's got the lava lamps lit. He's got his Leonard Skinner playing on the outside speakers. And I think I hear Frankie and Pamela howling at the moment. And it's a beautiful sound.
Well done, Matt. I just want to ask Matt to comment on his drawings, because they really were very motivational to me on the subject. That I think they're terrific, and if you don't mind, that'd be great.
Not at all. The class pans are me and Charles Searles, a dear friend who died of lung cancer 5 years ago, from his last day. And actually, Charles and Kathleen had a beautiful story. I don't think they're going to mind me. They're not in this community anymore, and Charles, of course, isn't. But they're... Thank you. They were a couple long-term marriage, and they were going through a rocky period, and they were both dear friends, so I knew it from both sides. And they were close to getting divorced before Charles got diagnosed. And the stage 4 lung cancer, there seems to be a lot of that going on, put everything in perspective. They quit worrying about the small stuff. And actually, for that last year of Charles's life, intimacy returned. And, to this day, Kathleen will say we have the perfect marriage. So that's the fast dance. But that's touch on the intimacy that's non-sexual. That's just the bonding between, I hold Judy's hands all the time. Yeah, I held Charles' hands for hours and hours this last day. And then the other drawings, which will come around on the slideshow in a moment, it's a couple. And they're intimate. As Webster tells us, it's about familiarity, it's about comfort. I'll add, it's about trust. And there we go. This couple is in different aspects of familiarity. Sometimes they're close, sometimes they're facing each other, sometimes they're turned away from each other. But I guess if I had to, the best way to describe it is that it's a dance. You go through the struggles of life, the comfort level changes, the relaxedness is sometimes tense as hell, sometimes it's pain, sometimes nobody's feeling sexy. But if it's a love relationship, the trust is always there.
Patty, that was beautiful.